In this lecture, we will talk about cost-based payment methods. Cost-based payment methods are categorized broadly into two types: target costing and cost reimbursable method. Cost reimbursable method is further divided into three types: cost plus fixed fees, cost plus award fees, cost plus incentive fees. Let's look at them one by one. Target costing. It's a share gain, share pain arrangement of payment. In this payment method, target costs are agreed between the contractor and the client, along with the proportion of sharing any overspend or underspend on the project. So if the actual cost of the work on the project turns out to be more, client will share a part of it by providing extra funding, and contractor will also share a part of it by reducing his profit margin. Similarly, if the actual cost of the work package or the whole project is lower than the target cost that has been agreed, contractor gets his share as an additional profit and client gets his share through the reduction of costs on the project. Target cost actually consists of four items as shown in this figure. Let's say a target cost of 1 million was agreed between the contractor and the client, which is broken down into unit costs, which are the actual costs of the work, then the costs that are allocated for any kind of risks, then the overhead costs of the contractor, finally his profit. So let's say the target cost was 1 million, and when we look at the second part of this figure, the actual cost is lesser than the target cost. For example, we did not encounter any risks on the project, so that cost was saved. Now this gap between the target cost and the actual cost, this amount of money is shared between the client and the contractor as per their initial agreement. Target cost should not be set until about 50 to 60% of design is complete and both parties understand the scope of the project and the risks involved with the project. Management procurement routes usually use this type of payment method. Now let's look at the cost reimbursable method. It's also called as cost plus contract. This payment method reimburses the cost of work along with additional amount, which is usually a percentage as profit. This method is not so cost effective as there is less incentive for the contractor. However, the works can start promptly in this method. This method is cost-based reimbursable method is usually suited for small projects only. Prime contracting method uses this type of payment, and as you already know now, I discussed in the prime contracting lecture that it has come under fire. Let's look at the types of cost reimbursable method. The first one is cost plus fixed fees. In this method, contractor is paid for the cost of work plus a fixed amount on top of it. Let's say the actual cost of work was 1 million and he's paid 100,000 on top of it. Cost plus award fees. It's almost similar to cost plus fixed fees payment method, but with the difference that an additional amount fees is based on client's evaluation of contractor's work rather than the initial agreement. So in this case, the contractor may be paid or may not be paid an additional amount on top of the cost he incurs. If the client evaluates that he doesn't like the work of the contractor, he may pay him just the amount of the work and no fees on top of that. While as in case of cost plus fixed fees, the fixed fees is already agreed. Cost plus incentive fees. In this method, the costs are reimbursed and an additional fees is paid if some performance goal is met. For example, the contractor may be paid a bonus amount if the work is completed 1 month before scheduled completion. So in this method, the additional fees of the contractor is tied up to some milestone. So this was about the cost-based payment method. As I already told you that the payment methods help to distribute the risk differently between the contractor and the client. In our next lecture, we will look at how these payment methods distribute the risk between the client and the contractor.